Hello there, readers. This is Brandon McCarthy from SRO Magazine. I'm coming to you live from the Grove of Anaheim, where I'm here to watch the great Primal Fear take stage pretty soon. But right now, I want to introduce you to a new band that opened up, and they are just killer. They are called Faded Sun. First of all, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
I'm Tony D. DeVita. I'm the singer, songwriter, guitar player.
Mike Brown, timekeeper. David Baldwin Campbell, lead guitar.
And Steve Shalassi, I'm a good friend filling in on bass tonight.
Thank you very much. Well, actually, the very obvious question is, Faded Sun, where did that name come from?
Well, honestly, I wanted to start it with kind of almost like a Matrix type, like Dark Sun. You know, we blacked out the sun kind of look to the band and everything. Well, it just Mike didn't want to get into the goat costume, so it just fell to the wayside.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice. No, but we tried. We were going to have that kind of an image and things like that. It just happened the way it did. All of a sudden, just had to start having like almost like a Soundgarden thing going on.
Yeah,
that happened. Yeah, in the very beginning until this got a little bit more metal as we've been progressing.
I will admit, you do have a Soundgarden quality-esque to it, and I really love that kind of mystic feeling to it. And you actually sound like a young Rob Halford, in my opinion. That's incredible.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, how did you guys come together? We all got old friends from like high school or whatever, or did you
Well, the oldest member is Mike, is the drummer, and I saw him in a band, Alter Ego, and thought he was great. He was a great drummer and needed that type of a drummer in my band. And asked him to join, and we started jamming, and the rest is history. We had various members, but Dave was actually from a Craigslist, and he came down and he was sitting in the other room, and we didn't even believe he was really playing in the other room. We were like, wow, listen to that. Is that real? We had a lot of funky auditions, but it was pretty cool. And Steve is a good friend from a local band, Octane Mob, that we played with umpteen times, so many times. He knows our stuff even, so he just came and filled in for tonight. This is a big show. It's a bigger show.
He's killing it in As You Were now, so check that out too.
House of Blues.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Well, what are you guys doing like right now? You guys just released an EP that you just said. Are you guys gonna eventually get a full release out soon, or what's up? Are you just gonna focus on?
Well, we recorded the album, but we're not done yet. We're in the process of that. That's why we're trying to release that EP so that that we could get the interest and try to get a few smaller tours going on, which they've offered us already. We offered the Mike Menza tour to go on that tour. We offered a few things that we're just being wary. We want to do the release correctly and do it the right way. These kind of deals are like marketing strategy, and we try to do and this is a really close type band that we do, like us. It's hard to find bands with a progressive voice and shredding, and that's why they got us here. That's why we made it on the roster tonight. It's like,
I agree with you. I'll admit this: when you're about to open for a band or something, you want to get the other opening acts that almost sound like you, so that way you got a collective thing going on. I like that kind of pattern. Like the Garrett that's going to go on later, my good friends Cantation, they have a really killer sound. I think you guys really fit into that mold.
Yeah, we wish for like a support of like Black Label or Machine Head or something like that. Something like that.
It's amazing that it's funny that you mentioned about like marketing and whatnot for your sound, because it seems like today the music industry isn't really putting new bands on labels anymore. It seems like you have to either create your own label or do it in a garage or whatever. What is your take on the metal industry today and how it's struggling just to get a breath of air that is known as the mainstream?
Overseas is where it's at.
You got to bring it yourself.
You got to take it to Europe and South America and shit.
They still have the hardcore bases there, but I do still believe there's still American crowds like that in Texas and here. And, there's still a lot of hardcores that I love, but I mean, we have to get out there, like he's saying, across the water is really where they appreciate this type of music.
If they're here, we'll find them. By trial and error.
True. I mean, look at Queensryche. They go over there and they're still touring over there because everybody wants to hear the older stuff.
Which Queensryche? Todd Latour's Queensryche or Jeff Tate's?
The Whip Queensryche.
Wait, which one got the name? The actual
Whip.
band, right?
The actual band. Jeff
yeah,
Tate
Jeff
is going to
Tate.
step aside.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and it's funny how you mentioned about the European circuit, because that is where metal is today. That's where it's like the huge crowds and everything. I'm always jealous of that. Is that your guys' goal to eventually go overseas and hopefully like be part of a metal circuit, like a metal festival over there?
Well, we got an offer earlier on to hop onto the Metal All Stars tour that was down in, or that's going to be down in South America, but they still kind of have that business model where you pay this outrageous fee, and they promise you a bunch of things, and then like the people on the road, they write back to you and say, hey man, they're screwing us and it's screwed up and you're basically blowing your money, so don't do it. So you have to find a good situation too.
Like I said before, we were just being weary with some of the tour programs that they were throwing at us. It was like, whoa, we want to do it like this guy's doing, and he's doing it the right way.
Yeah, you gotta be aware. You gotta be aware of like who to trust in this industry, because they are out to get the money as much as the bands want to make the money as well.
Well, a lot of times that's where they make the money, is you get bands to buy on to a big bill, thinking they're going to sell all these tickets, but then it's really just them shelling out, $1,000 or $2,000 divided by 5 guys.
Yeah, and
hopefully you make some of it back.
And half the time when they book these bands, you book the wrong kind of acts to follow them, to open up for them. Like a couple of years ago, I went to see Van Halen at the Honda Center over here, and they had Kool and the Gang open up for them. But fortunately for me, I did not want to watch it. But I was like, Kool and the Gang and Van Halen, I don't know. I would have put in maybe Queensryche or something, or maybe put in Megadeth if they were doing
Anything with some guitars, and some
That's
drums and
ironic.
bass.
It's ironic because back in the club days, Van Halen had to play like Kool and the Gang tunes to get noticed at the Starwood and shit. So it's
Well, you
like
had to
coming
play
full
like
circle.
we had to play like top 40 hits.
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
recognized. That's what Tesla said. They mentioned that they had to like play top 40 hits in order to get recognized, not only by the labels but the venues themselves. Then they play their own.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm from Northern California, so I was just starting to like music when Tesla was getting real big in the late 80s, early 90s. They're from Sacramento, they were called City Kid back in the day, and we got to watch those dudes rise up. But they had the same problem, I think, that a lot of the bands at the time did, is they had that one really good hit that happened to be a ballad, and that's what caught on. So then you really don't listen, the mainstream doesn't listen to the rest of the tunes. So then you have to kind of catch the next wave, when the nostalgia comes back, and then, So yeah, I don't know. There's really no correct formula. It's just it's all trial and error.
Never correct.
We're looking to finish up the album to just recent now, and we had a stellar year of shows, man. We played with Lizzie Borden, we played with Y&T, with
Adrenaline Mob,
and Primal Fear.
And of course, you guys heard about Adrenaline Mob recently. They got into a crash and they had to cancel. But
I did hear about
fortunately, nobody got hurt. But you got to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
But speaking of bands, which bands influenced each of you as a musician itself? Like as a vocalist, a bass player, a guitarist, a drummer? Who captured your attention?
As vocalists, Ian Gillan, Jeff Tate, Ryan James.
Hey, rest in peace.
Well, Ian Gillan's probably my absolute favorite because
Hey, he still sounds amazing. After all these times.
That's one of my favorites. Hey, he was in Black Sabbath.
Briefly, but yeah, he was.
How can you argue with that? I don't know, man. I know Mike has a lot of Tool influence. What are your influences?
Danny Carey, Mike Portnoy. I like Tom Pierce. Mr. Rush, Mr. Peart. Who else? Wow, they're my main influence. I like Stuart Copeland. I like stuff like that. Phil Collins is great on the drums.
Oh yeah, he is.
So yeah, there's quite an array. I mean, I like playing funky jazz too. So hey, got those influences.
Well, see, my influences were the shredders like John Petrucci and Steve Vai, but no matter how much I practiced, I couldn't sound like them. So I dug back and started listening to Van Halen and recognized that sometimes it's about the energy and not about the precision. So I'm trying to marry those two concepts, and it's a work in progress. But
as far as the guitar concept for the writing of it, most chunkless, I studied the Anthrax New York school of playing, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at.
Sure.
Anything New York or Thrash or, like Havoc, Anthrax.
Yeah, Scott
like
Ian, Dan Spitz,
anything
back
like
in the
that,
day.
I'm down,
Yeah.
So that's where my head is at, kind of, you know. But I'm not playing as fast as that because I'm trying to get a more, I don't know, a groove to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a little bit more of a groove to it.
And you just gotta find your own groove. Take
Yeah.
whatever influences you can get and just find what works for you.
Yeah.
So are you guys gonna be opening up for Primal Fear for the rest of their tour, or is this like, are they just picking
This is a
bands from like
one-off.
local areas?
This is local. Yeah, this was a local one-off for us.
In my opinion, you should be opening them for the rest of the tour because you guys were fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we got time for a couple more questions. Where do you guys see yourselves in the future? Do you see yourselves like touring a little more in the late year, or are you gonna go back to the studio and really just finish up this album?
We have to finish the album and then look to come out live again during the summer.
You got a release date in mind? You got something in the future?
By next summer, yeah. We want to have everything done.
Well, I'll definitely be looking
and
forward.
out again and playing again.
Well, like
Make sure that you get a demo too.
believe me, I'm gonna get a demo and I'm gonna review. Thank you very much. I just got myself a demo here. And my last question is this: are you guys diehard metalheads as I am? Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah, Metal Slayer! Death to all but metal! Slayer! Well, I wouldn't say Slayer anymore because I don't know what they're doing anymore. It's like more like a Kerry King project.
And Rihanna's alright. No.
Get out of here! Rihanna, ignore that. Well, Faded. Believer. Well, let's hope he gets deported. Well, hey, Faded Son, thank you.
It's not updated, but it's
Yeah,
still,
EP. Thank you. Well, demo EP. It's like there's no political correct term anymore.
That's what the band sounds
So
like.
let me say, we got a website now that's up and running. It hasn't been updated with the newest show, but it's at www.fadedsunband.com. So I'm gonna let you guys
And we
know
were at
that.
Reverb Nation too.
Yeah.
Rebirth Nation, and you can always check out their Facebook account if you want to find out more information about them. This is Brandon McCarthy with Faded Sun. Guys, thank you very much, and you guys played on a stellar show, and I look forward to the future. And of course, Steve, the replacement bass player for tonight. Don't forget to check out his group as you were. Thank you. They'll be playing next Saturday at the House of Blues of Anaheim, which I'm more likely going to attend and check them out.
10 times the people. And we'll live vicariously.
Through Steve.
Hopefully, man.
Well, hey, you know what, guys? Keep this up. You're gonna pack it more. I know it. I got a feeling.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. This is Brandon McCarthy. Signing off.